Never thought I'd be in love with Ali Hazelwood as I am now, and yet here I am, just chilling. Let's get to it. So a little bit of an update regarding the love hypothesis. As I mentioned, or as you will have seen by now, I'm going to be reading all of the Ali Hazelwood books, and obviously I'm starting with their debut. I'm going to be going in chronological order of when they've been released. I'm also sorry I sound sick, but I made it to page 113. I am annotating it. There are two parts. Like, obviously this is debut, and I think one of my comments initially was that it was very wordy. I'm sticking to that because this is very, like, there are parts where I'm like, I'm gonna just gloss right over you, which is a good and a bad thing. Good because it intends that I don't miss out on anything important, but the bad is that I could. But that being said, I'm still enjoying this. I enjoy the relationship between Olive and Adam. Obviously this is a fake dating situation where Olive needs to convince a friend that she is happy for her to date her ex, to date Olive's ex, and Adam needs a fake dating situation so that Stanford frees up his funds. And so that's where it all starts. I'm very much in the beginning. I'm only like a third of the way through, but I'm very excited. Tomorrow's Thursday and I'll be planning on reading another 100 pages of this with hopes to, I was gonna say finish it, but it's like, it's nearly 400 pages. What the actual, 376 pages long. That is quite lengthy. But yeah, I'm gonna plan on reading to page 200 and then Friday to finish it. So I just wanted to do an update on how far I am in the love hypothesis. I am about halfway on page 204 and I'm really enjoying this. I maintain that the things are a bit wordy in this book. There's just so many small things that Adam does for Olive and it's just so cute. So as I mentioned, I think before, I am tabbing the actual romance. Okay, I'm tabbing romance in two different ways. One of them is like the physical aspect of romance, them kissing, it being all cutesy and like that, and then the other one is like the things they do for each other, the small things that Adam does for Olive and Olive does for Adam, the whole shebang, the little bit of flirting that they do. So that's a little bit more to do with like them building a relationship, and the other one is just, you know, smut. So that's how it's going. I'm going to be continuing reading this right now, and I will see you on the other side where I will be finishing this. I am hoping that it doesn't take me a week to finish every single one. Obviously, like, I've only been reading this for 2 days, but I want to kind of squeeze in 2 of her books every single week just to not rush through it, but get things going so I can have this vlog done and dusted, because the last book I'm reading is Bride and I definitely want this video to come out before then. Because I haven't read a little bit in this, I'm going to try and maybe finish this. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to hopefully finish it because that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. I have a caramel iced coffee. so quick update. I have finished The Love Hypothesis. I really enjoyed it. As I said, I don't think this is her best book. Knowing what I know about like Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically, and so on, this isn't her best, but I think it's still a really good debut. I think she's grown a lot in the romance genre, mainly because there's like one sex scene, but everything else is quite, you know, there's like romance, they're flirting and stuff, but when it comes to like the smutty parts of it, she's definitely like new to it in this book at least. And I also found like, I think this was rated as a, or not rated, but the romance is there as a cover up basically, and then the most important thing is the talk about women in STEM and how they're treated and stuff. So like that's kind of, the romance is just there for everyone, but the STEM is so that other people can feel heard and like a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, really enjoyed this. I'm keen to continue. Obviously I'm going to be reading Love on the Brain next, which I'm so excited for. It's my first time rereading that. This was obviously my first time physically reading this, and yeah, I mean there is a bonus chapter in this one, but it's literally just from Adam's perspective on the sex scene. So there's that. Done and dusted. Really glad. We're going to be moving on to the next one soon. So I have just finished reading Love on the Brain, and for about 300, I don't know how long, since this book basically came out and I read it, I have been saying I love this book infinitely more than I have enjoyed The Love Hypothesis. At that point I had first read this and then I read The Love Hypothesis. My feelings have changed on this 100%. I am just beyond annoyed with B as a main character. She just kept saying that, oh, Levi hates me, and then to his face saying, Levi, you hate me. And when Levi tries to correct her, she's like, no, you do. What do you mean? And I don't know, that just was so annoying. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, we get it. You think he hates you. He's told you he doesn't. Move on. Beyond that, I still like, sorry, it's like kind of hot, I still like the element that happens towards the end. A lot of people didn't, but I thought that made the story a little bit more interesting. I still dislike how sciencey these books are. I understand that they're basically women in STEM falling in love, all good, all fine, but you could really dumb it down for us dumb folk out here, because I was sitting there the whole time, and anytime there is some sort of sciencing, I go with like no understanding. So I think as a reader I would have appreciated a little bit more explanation, even if it's like a dumbed down explanation of what this thing is. That's fine without saying what it is, because half of the words I was just like, I don't even know what that means. At this point I don't actually care. So the science bit I lose out on a lot. Like I really enjoyed the fact that it was text-based at NASA. It was so cool and blah blah blah, and I get the gist of the project, but I feel like it just got a little annoying, to say the least. That being said, I can now move on to the third Ali Hazelwood for this video, and I just need to determine which of these two comes first, and I'll be reading that one next. Obviously, Loathe to Love You is the 3 short stories, and I do believe that they did technically come out before Love Theoretically, but I'm going according to the bind-ups pub date, and this one's pub date. And then from there I'll be reading the next ones. I'm here to finally give a Ali Hazelwood update, and that is that I'm 58 pages into Loathe to Love You. It's been a couple of days where I've been on that point, but I'm very proud of myself because I figured it out very early on that these 3 stories are linked through friendship. I deserve a high five. But I'm about to sit down and continue on with the short stories. I am hoping to at least finish Under One Roof today before dinner arrives, or maybe, I mean, yeah, I could totally, it's just 60 pages that I'd have to read, and then I'll continue on with the rest of the book
after dinner. So far, I really am liking these. They're not really substantial, they're very quick, but they're fun. I would like to see more of it so far, so that's where I am at the moment. My reading has not been amazing, but we move on. We are going to read, and hopefully I will thoroughly enjoy these 3 stories before I head into Love Theoretically. So an update, I have finished reading Under One Roof. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. Obviously, because it's such a short story, it's very conclusive and there's no third act breakup, which I'm loving. I am going to continue obviously reading into Stuck With You in Below Zero today. That is the plan, at least. And I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done today because it's a long weekend. I have no responsibilities except, you know, the basic adulting stuff, but beyond that, minimal stuff, which is exciting. So I can't wait to continue this. So I'm currently half ready. The reason why I'm saying I'm half ready is because there is a wasp currently in my bathroom, so I cannot finish getting ready. But I have some lunch, I guess, because now it's like 12. So I've got just toast and butter. And then in this really gorgeous mug, by the way, I love this so much. My friend, who I'll have Avial Bookish linked down below. If you're South African, you can actually order this, but I think if you're international, you can only order from Redbubble. But she custom made this for me, which is my star sign, and it matches the one that I have given, or hopefully at this point that this goes live, I have given it to my friend Roseanne, and so hers has her name and her star sign. This is my star sign. I'm a Virgo, she's an Aries. Just all good stuff. So yeah, this is just really stunning. I have 3 of these silver ones, and then I have a whole bunch of like just the normal glass ones. Now I'm officially ready. It took me a bit longer because I did not hear the alarm on my phone go off for 11, so I played until about 11:15 on Palia. It is fun. It is a bit buggy. I think that's just because there's like a ton of people on the servers at the moment, so that just means that, you know, the connection is suffering a little bit, but that's a-okay. I think I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos while I eat quick. Maybe just 1 or 2, honestly, not too many. And then I am literally just going to sit and read. You know those plans. I just wanted to let you know that I'm about to enact on them. Hopefully I can just finish this one video that I'm watching, which is by Rachel Catherine, which I absolutely love her content, by the way. I'll have a link if you're interested. She's just an Australian YouTuber, or booktuber, I suppose. But she does other lifestyle content as well, so I don't think she's predominantly booktube. That's the plans for now. I will check in with you a bit later. I think the next time I check in with you, I will hopefully have read the next Ali Hazelwood story, just so I'm not constantly talking to you randomly. Plans. It's a bit later now, and I have finished Stuck With You. I'm now about to start with Below Zero. How do I feel about Stuck With You? I thought it was so much better than the first one, honestly. I liked the premise a bit more. I don't know, it's just so funny. I feel like being stuck in the elevator is a meet cute for sure, even though in this one it isn't the meet cute situation. I just felt like it was such a weird, fun little book. It reminds me a lot about the book Meet Me at the Lake, and honestly a lot of people were like, how can you fall in love with a guy one day? And like, this shit happens in this one, and this was published before and people weren't bitching and moaning about this, even though like I understand like it's a novella, but they're all fictional worlds. Obviously these are like what we would consider to be the most ideal, fun little aspects. Also, sorry if you can hear my partner, he's obviously gaming away. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the short story this novella collection. It's fun so far, and I have no qualms. I'm excited to continue. I'm going to be on the last little stretch. Hopefully I can finish it in the next little bit. The time has finally come for me to read my favorite Ali Hazelwood. I am maybe pushing this vlog a lot further than I thought I would have to be reading her books, but that's fine. I intend to read the entirety of Love Theoretically today. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm hoping it's gonna go super well. This is my favorite. This is the only one I've given 5 stars to so far. I don't think I gave Love Hypothesis 5 stars in this reread. This was just my favorite. The 2 things to note is that our main character, Elsie, is a people pleaser, and Jack, who is our MMC, is not. He is like build the bridge your own way kind of guy. And everything, and he just wants Elsie to stop being this people pleaser and constantly overextending herself to fit the image and the person that other people want her to be, and just for her to be herself, to discover who she is and all of that. And I just love this one because there's so many relatable moments, so I'm really excited to read this, annotate it a little bit,
get into my feels with this one. I'm hoping this rating stays the same because my ratings of the other books have changed a little bit, so I'm hoping this stays the same. And then once I've read this, I'll be reading Check and Mate, which I'm also excited for. I'm most excited for Bride though. I feel like that one in my current reading vibe is up my alley, so really excited for this. I'm hoping to pick it up today, as I said, and finish it in one go. It is long, but it's Ali Hazelwood and a romance. How long can it take? So I am about a third of the way into Love Theoretically at the moment, and I am still really enjoying this one. I think it's fun. I don't know, there's just something about the relationship between Jack and Elsie which I just love. I think it's so organic. I like the little banter that's between them, and I just know it's going to be really exciting to continue reading what is to come. This is still by far my favorite book. Like, even just from the beginning, I'm in love with it, you know? Like, that's how I felt when I initially read it. I was like, there's just something about this book that makes me feel like I'm on crack, and I just can't stop reading. So I'm really excited to continue reading this today and finishing it, because it's just one of those books where you just want to keep reading and you're just want to see what's going to happen regardless of how long it takes you. Like, you just want to finish it today, you know? It's one of those books where you need to finish it as soon as possible, and I'm really excited that I have it with me, and I'm excited to continue. I definitely think this is her best so far. Obviously my opinions can change like as the book goes along, but definitely beating the rest for me at the moment. I have finished reading Love Theoretically. I finished it yesterday, and this remains my favorite Ali Hazelwood so far. The only things that can really usurp this is Check and Mate and Bride. I have more hope that Bride will usurp this than Check and Mate, but this was just so perfect to me. And I don't like, a lot of people find Elsie annoying, and I can see why, but I didn't. And beyond that, I just found Jack to be so perfect, man. Like, he is so perfect, and I love that. And every time he's in the scene, I'm like giddily, I'm giddy and giggly, and it's just a really great time. I really love this one the most. And Ali Hazelwood does say this is her most academic book, but I beg to differ, because I found Love on the Brain more neuroscience-y and a little bit more complicated, because there's way more descriptions of what it means to be like a neuroscientist, in the sense of like what is involved, like actually going through the experiments, because obviously she is in herself a neuroscientist. But with this one, we follow a physicist and an experimentalist, and there's like a notorious feud between them. So in a way it is kind of enemies to lovers, but not really. But I love this one so much. It is definitely my favorite, and yeah, I have no regrets in rereading this. I think I'm giving it a 5-star because I can't really fault it. I loved it. I love the dynamic between the two of them. It was just superb. I'm in love with these characters, and honestly I could read more of Jack. Continue on with my Ali Hazelwood video, which has been a while. It's been a couple of days since I've actually picked up an Ali Hazelwood book, but obviously with the looming release of Bride, I really want to get through it and get reading, and so I am currently reading Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, obviously, and I'm about 22 pages in. So far it's very interesting. I will say it is a YA, but I would call it more upper YA, because our main character is about 18 in this book, and there are some like more, not explicit, but it definitely has more mature themes in some ways. I'm excited to continue reading this. We follow Melleny, who was a chess queen when she was younger, but she has stopped doing that. Even when we read the prologue, she no longer plays chess, but she encounters, or she's listening to a podcast about Nolan Sawyer. We later learn that Melleny, although did really well in school, she has got some family things going on. Basically, it looks like her mom suffers from chronic pain, and so Melleny has to carry the burden financially of her family, because her mom is unable to work and isn't getting the like grants from the government to help fund things. And her sisters, she's got 2 younger sisters, seem unaware, or like they are aware that Melleny is doing a lot of stuff financially for them, but is unaware of the toll it takes and how much work Melleny actually has to do in order to get that money. So I'm interested to see how this goes. At this point in time, Mallory's been invited by her friend Easton to just play a friendly game of chess, and it's been years since she has. I look forward to continuing it. It's like such an easy read so far. I'm interested to see if this or Bride will top Love Theoretically as my favorite so far, and it looks like Afterlight might be doing reprints of the Stevenist novels, in which case
I might do it, because like those are books I could easily reread more than once, you know, especially my fave, Love Theoretically. I do know that Bride is currently in the shop, but I just don't know if I can get it this month. Probably not, but exciting times. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this today. I also am intending on, I have some like videos that I want to do for TikTok and taking some content for Instagram, because I've been kind of dead on there and I don't want to be. I wanted to have January be like a post almost every day situation. Hasn't worked out that way. That's fine. But yeah, that is kind of what it is looking like for me at the moment. So let me just update you. I am currently on page 74 in Check and Mate, and I really am enjoying it. I think it's definitely not YA. It's like on the older side of YA, so yeah, technically it's YA, but I'm thinking more appropriate for like 17, 18, 19-year-olds. It's like the demographic that's also within the book itself, and I think it's very interesting. I'm enjoying it a lot, surprisingly, and I'm really looking forward to continuing it. I am just currently being bitten by the TFT bug, and I feel like playing that a little bit more. It's currently 7:30 at the moment, so I think I'm going to play one more round of TFT, and then I'm just going to sit and try and finish this off, because I do have plans to read Bride this coming week. I've like put it in my schedule. It's there, it needs to get done. I also have other plans to read other books, but obviously I'm not going to talk too much about it. Okay, I need to check out why I don't see Bride here. But yeah, let me go and play my one fun game of TFT, and then I'm going to come back and hopefully I will finish this, because I read this really quickly.
Hi, hello. Allow me to wrap up this video real quick. It's been a couple of months since I filmed this, but I thought I would just do a quick little wrap up on my feelings. This is my entire Ali Hazelwood collection. You'll notice that I have every book with the exception of A Proof of the Love Hypothesis and Bride, because I'll explain, but I also have Not in Love. I just have it on my to be read right now for the month of July. Here are all of the books I basically read for this video, and I thought I would just do a wrap up of my feelings, because I didn't do that and I didn't conclude Bride and Check and Mate. Let's start. The Love Hypothesis is obviously the book that started it all for Ali Hazelwood, and rightfully so. I will say that this is probably the most fanfic like her books get, because obviously this is based on Kylo and Ray. Raylo. I'm sorry. This was a really good jumping in point for Ali Hazelwood. I think this is not her best book. I think in this one I found things very wordy, very surface almost, but I enjoyed the very cute moments between Adam and Olive. I think that those moments really made the book for me, and I ended up giving this like a 4-star. And then had read Love on the Brain. I read my finished copy as opposed to my proof, and I did not love this one as much as I remembered. I still do enjoy the fact that this had like a little bit of an extra spin to it than any of my other books. It had like a thriller-esque moment, for those who don't know. But I found B to be so funny. I found B to be very annoying. She just had the dumbest reasonings for everything regarding Levi, and no matter what Levi said, B had already made up her mind regardless and refused to listen to him, and I feel like that's just not a way to go. So not my favorite. I think I dropped my rating of this from, I think I should change this to 5 or 4.5, and then I dropped this from a 5 to a 4 because it just didn't hit the same, honestly. Then this one's upside down. This
is one of my favorites from her. Love Theoretically is the book that speaks to my soul. It follows our main character Elsie, who is a people pleaser through and through and always adjusts herself based on who she's talking to and around, and that makes it very difficult for her to be herself. And Jack, bless him, refuses for Elsie to be like that around him. He wants her to just be herself, and he finds it very difficult, and that's kind of the base of this, and it is phenomenal. This just got better in my mind, and I'm keeping to my rating of a 5-star for this. And then for the first time ever, read the Loathe to Love You collection. This is 3 short stories featuring Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. It follows a friendship group, and they are very cute. There is definitely, I'm trying to think about who, I think I wanted to know more about Mara and whoever she was stuck with. I can't remember, but I wanted more from them. I feel like I could do a whole full-length novel with just the 2 of them. It's the redhead here and this guy, and I really loved it. These are really great introductions, I think, into Ali Hazelwood, where you don't have any long length novels to get through. They are about 100, under 200 pages each, and it was just so good. I enjoyed Under One Roof, and then Below Zero and Stuck With You, or maybe it goes Below Zero, Under One Roof, Stuck With You. Either way, Stuck With You I felt was like the shortest and most like, okay, move on. But Below Zero I really enjoyed. I think I would really like to see these hopefully one day potentially be expanded into maybe even a second story or something like that. I don't know, but more. Then we have Ali Hazelwood's foray into YA. This is upper YA, and I enjoyed this. It does have some more difficult topics, which is why I'm saying upper YA, maybe 16 plus. But this was really good. I really enjoyed how, unlike in her feminist novels where you kind of feel out of loop with the science of it all, this doesn't make you feel like that. I don't have a clue about chess, and I enjoyed this a lot, and I didn't feel like I was too dumb to understand things, but it was really great. This, I actually am keen to read more like from her YA. If she does more YA, I would read it. Honestly, it was just really great, and it flowed really well, so yeah, I'm really happy with that. Then we have to talk about Bride. Bride is probably, and I say this with 100% certainty, is my favorite Ali Hazelwood, and this is coming from someone who has read her backlist now, with the exception of Not In Love, which is her newest release. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it marries perfectly her writing skills as a romance author and the potential that she has to do more so perfectly. The Bride, if you don't know, is her first foray into paranormal or fantasy-esque writing, and I am convinced she should do more. I do believe possibly that there will be a second book in the Bride series just based on how the first book ended, but besides for the whole weird knotting situation that I still couldn't wrap my head around, the whole book was phenomenal. A 10 out of 10 reading experience. I don't have any clips because it took me a day to read it. I've read all of the books quite quickly, and most of them I've read maybe in a day or in a couple of hours, or whatever the case is, or like in short spurts but across like a week, but you know, just quickly. This was my first time where I ended the book and I was like, but I want more. Where is the rest of it? It was such an incredible experience. If you are someone who doesn't read paranormal or doesn't read fantasy and wants to possibly be looking at getting into that, especially romance wise, or if you're a romance reader wanting to maybe get in on the romantic thing but you can't get your head around the more intricate and intensive fantasy worlds, this is it. This is your doorway. This is your massive doorway to get into it. I am obsessed with this book, and I'm thinking of when I can reread it. I need to get a physical copy, I need to annotate it, I need to do all the things to make this happen for me. And I really am sad that I didn't get the Afterlight version of Bride, but this was just phenomenal. If you've watched this video and you're getting to this point and you're like, where should I start? Please read Bride.
have this one book you read, read Bride, for me, for my own happiness. Just read it so I can have someone to talk to about it. It was just incredible and is my favorite one of all her books, excluding obviously Ones to Come and Not in Love. I haven't read it yet. I do have Not in Love, and I had thought for a while of, because this video has been so delayed, to read it and also include it in this, but I won't, to save you from what will potentially be a very long video. Instead, I'm gonna end it off here and ask you what if I should do the next video like this, where I read Not in Love and Deep End, and if you want me to read any other authors like this, where I do basically an entire series and I just talk about all of them and kind of my favorites. Obviously we have a lot here, and I think they each cover their own sort of topics of importance when it comes to personality, feelings, all of that stuff. I really never thought I'd be in love with Ali Hazelwood as I am now, and yet here I am, just chilling. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.